Hello and good morning, everybody. It's myself, Allie, at Heart and Soul Connected, and this is pre-recorded and uploaded afterwards. Thank you all for being here whenever you manage to come. This is going to be another series that I am offering you all. This one is on Taoism and the Tao Te Ching. The Tao is spelled T-A-O. And yet you will see some people write it D-A-O, De Jing, but it's D-A-O and then small t-e and then capital C-H-I-N-G. It was written some 25,000 years ago by a man named Lao Tzu, and it is as relevant now as it was then. It's an absolutely wonderful way to configure your life and to live, with many Eastern relevancy parts to it. People in the Eastern religions are not people that push things. They are the people that allow things to happen as they are to come in right time. The Tao sort of started out this way. It is a living and applying the great way to your life. And the Tao means the way, and the way is always in flux and flow. And so since we cannot control what happens to us in many ways, or in any way, this is a way, a lifestyle, a way of thinking that will not only bring your stress levels down, but it will become a way of life that allows you to feel as though you are moving with the current and not bucking yourself against the tide. And I'll try to explain these as I go. The book, The Tao Te Ching, is usually fairly inexpensive and can be ordered from Amazon, or you can also download a PDF of the book, which is about 81 verses. And then, fortunately, I was able to find out that they now have the Tao, Wisdom of the Tao Oracle cards, which I would like to be using as we move along. There's 2 packs of them. The first pack is Awakenings, where many of you are sitting at right now, where we all sit at. We have different awakenings at different times. The second one is Strategies. And I have not even opened this one yet because I want to wait. I want to work with the first one first. But I think these oracle cards could be very beneficial. They are aligned with the principles also of the I Ching, although you're not throwing any or tossing any coins in this particular group. I did speak on Nancy Jean's channel at Nancy Jean's Garden about the Tao Te Ching. I'm sorry, not the Tao Te Ching, about the I Ching. And the I Ching is a personal way for you to see where you are along your path. So both of these are very complementary. I just want you to realize. So this book, the Tao Te Ching, is probably the wisest book ever written, as many people have said in the East or in China, the Asian countries. It encourages you to change your life by changing the way that you think. And it's a precursor, in a way, to many of the science of mind ideas about change your thoughts, change your life. Wayne Dyer also tackled this topic. Many people have. Ursula Le Guin, a science fiction writer, also wrote a book about the Tao Te Ching. And because it is so beautifully written, it's hard to disturb it or to make it not be what it was intentionally meant to be, as a way of life. And Lao Tzu had written it primarily at the time for the rulers of the countries, figuring that it has to start at the top and then work its way down. But as way turns into way, we know political people, political appointees, political groups of people, they tend to be more ego-driven. And so I'm not sure that they look at this at all, but there's no reason why we can't, because if we can rule our own lives by letting go, then we become much happier people, and we live our lives instead of always consistently wondering what's going to happen tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Life is not lived in tomorrow. Life is lived in present moment. It's lived today. We don't know if we'll be here tomorrow, so we don't have to go there. All right? It's very difficult to do. There are 3 pillars to the Tao Te Ching. The first one being simplicity, living a simple life, not being too attached to material pursuits. And I myself have my own issues with this, and I have to work on them because I tend to be quite I won't say hoarder because that's almost too strong, but I would say somebody that has a lot of stuff that she needs to get rid of. The next one is compassion. And obviously, we all need to be compassionate individuals, although many people who live in ego or live in our current day paradigm see compassion as weakness, see crying as weakness, see loving another person as weakness, when it's not at all. It's a very spiritual walk for those who are compassionate. Patience is the other one, but remember, never ask for patience because you'll be tested and you'll have to have a lot of patience to get through that. But patience in this regard is waiting for the time of which this particular thing is the right thing to do, is the right moment after building up, setting up, and awaiting the result. So the Book of Taoism has 4 principles as well. Going with the flow, letting it go. If your plans change, so be it. If you can't get into somewhere, and this is the most perfect time to be listening to this if you are, because we're in a Mercury retrograde and everything slows down, shuts down. We have all kinds of communication problems. So learn to go with the flow. Learn to let go. You can't make way for new things to come in unless you let go of the old to make room for the new. The other part of letting go is you figure out what it is you want. You set your intention that that's what you would like, and then you let it go. You don't keep harping on it. You let it go. You don't keep asking questions. You don't keep doing readings. You don't keep insisting on your way. It has to be the way of the Tao. Harmony is another one. Keeping very harmonious in your interactions with others, keeping harmonious in your daily life, trying to build the balance of harmony for your life and others. And of course, you have the 3 pillars in there as well, which I did mention, which are simplicity, compassion, and patience. So the Tao Te Ching recommends non-action by cultivating a practice of observing the natural world. If you'll notice, the natural world isn't out there. The squirrels aren't out there going, okay, let's go. I want my nuts right now. Give me my nuts. Drop the nuts from the tree. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, tick-tock, hurry up. Nature teaches us that all comes in good time. And in that good time, things will come as they are meant to do. Just as the seasons change, so does our lifetime change. We are not always in a bad situation, and we're not always in a good situation. Sometimes we move, but the very basic tenet of both of those things is that change is inevitable either way. So learn to love what you love, learn to wait for that to return, but also to know that it doesn't last forever in one of those, that there is a flux, there is a flow. There are times when things are harder than others. So don't force action. Not that sometimes we think we can force action, but don't force it, and get comfortable doing much less. Now, this does not mean that you don't go to work or you don't talk to people or you don't pay your bills or whatever. What it means is you do all those things with gratitude and love in a sort of a Wu way, W-U, capital W-E-I, Wu way, which is no forcing. Nothing can be forced. You see a lot of people trying to force a square peg into a round hole. in their lives. And it doesn't necessarily, that's a metaphor for, I'm just going to make this work. This has to work this time. This is the way it's going to work. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about it all the time. So frame out, and it comes neutrally to manage your reality. Frame out what you want. Let it come in neutrally to frame your reality. And when we stop making waves and learn to wait and watch, we see outside forces more clearly and make wiser moves. We wait to see what is going to happen before we jump on it, or before we complain about it, or before we do something about it. I do not recommend this, of course, with any kind of physical ailment that you may have, or any kind of situation you may find yourself in that is in need of immediate attention, okay? This is a general way of living. But this does not say to wait it out if you're in pain, or if you have a problem, or if you feel sick, or whatever. Please don't ever do that. To act hastily is to have the potential for blunders, don't we know? When we act hastily, we cut ourselves, we fall down, we forget something, I don't know, I've put on 2 different color shoes before. They were the same type of shoe, and one was brown or one was navy and one was black, and I wore one of each one day because I was acting too hastily. We have these blunders, and these blunders also include ego and emotion that drive us, instead of thinking about and dealing with the wisdom that's inherent in how we do everything. So there is a power for good in this universe that is greater than you are, and you can use it when needed, when the time comes, as you flow through wherever you're coming. Whatever we have that we call our gifts, our talents, our skills, we are called to bring into this world. To not bring those into this world is to not use your fullest potentiality. But don't push it. Start slowly. See how the ball starts to roll. See if it's going to veer off this way or veer off this way. We need to be the spiritual embodiment of our magnificence. And we are magnificent beings. Live in an open, authentic, transparent manner, also encouraging others to do the same thing. We are all powerful, and that power is the source which we use effectively and wisely when we allow it to come through us without making it happen. If something, let's see. When we decrease in the way of the Tao, by lightening our load, by becoming more simple, by learning to live more simply, eat more simply, communicate, and so on, we will lighten our load, and it's a doorway to freedom in our lives. We weigh ourselves down so many times by all of our potentiality, which is a good thing. We feel like we have to hurry up because either it's too late, it takes too long, we have to make it happen, we have to show everybody we can do it, when really it's only going to come when the time is appropriate to come, in the time that's right for that thing to come through. So think on a few of these things today, and if so interested, look up and see if you can find your own copy of the Tao Te Ching, and I'm going to go through it and do a few of the paragraphs and talk about what their meanings are and so forth. It doesn't mean you have to understand everything all at once, because these things are multi-layered. We can learn a little, and a little then becomes a lot until it finally becomes a way of life. So if you're feeling overburdened, overstressed, feeling like you have to make things happen, wondering why other people don't see things the way you do, working to get something done in a short time frame that doesn't seem to be working, and feeling very frustrated by it, I would suggest perhaps that you need to look at the Tao Te Ching, as the Tao Te Ching is a great way to live, and it alleviates a lot of our anguish and our worry as we move along. Till next time, namaste.